What's good, y'all? It's your boy Tacho here, and we are back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. Now today we got the Resplendent alt for Linde. So pretty cool actually. Linde was one of the OGs in the game since day one, and she has held up pretty well actually. So really nice to see that she's getting the Resplendent treatment. Now, as far as the artwork is concerned with Linde, I'm not sure if I prefer the new art or the old one. Now, I really like the outfit on the old Linde because it was really unique and it's Linde's own personal outfit. So, having her in the Asker attire, I think it kind of doesn't really do her too much justice when her own outfit looked way better. But I think the face is definitely an improvement for her because, of course, the OG artwork had the anime big eyes, so not really the biggest fan of that. So it's like pick and choose. I like the outfit on the original, but I prefer the face on the new ones. So if there was a way for us to combine the two, then that would just be the best of both worlds. But anyway, I digress. We're going to be taking a look at some builds for Linde today, and taking a look at some pretty cool setups you can run for her. So for the base kit on Linde, she comes with Aura, which is really not that good of a perf. Well, before the refine anyway. Basically what this one did was it heals 5 HP to any adjacent allies when she attacks. So similar to Breath of Life, I guess you could say, but not quite as much with only 5 healing as opposed to 7. And really, I mean, you didn't really care too much about Aura anyway, day one. That's not what made her so good. The thing that made Linde really good day one was that she had the best attack and speed combo out of any of the blue infantry mages at that time. Well, I guess just any blue mage in general, because she had a 35-36 attack and speed combo, which still to this day is pretty strong, and there's not too many blue mages that can compete with Linde in terms of their attack and speed combo. So Linde has held up through the test of time pretty well there. She also came with Ardent Sacrifice and Speed Up 3. And now Speed Up 3, I said this already when we were talking about Resplendent Azura, but Speed Up 3 was really good day one before the advent of Skill Inheritance, where you would just give everyone Fury 3 to essentially just get +3 to everything. But Speed Up 3, pretty strong day one. And she also came with Fortify Res 3, which I guess it was okay day one, but nowadays that's like complete fodder. So her base kit, like many of these day one units, isn't really that good, but the main selling point to Linde was her stat distribution, and in fact, Linde was so good at the start of the game that I remember her being considered the most sought after reroll unit next to Hector. So that just speaks volumes of how good Linde was. And she was one of those units that I was not able to summon for quite some time, so I didn't really get to bask in the glory of Linde at the time when she was at the peak of her powers, unfortunately. So for recommended IVs, it should go without saying you want either plus speed or plus attack. I would say plus speed has a little bit more value overall, but plus attack is not to be slept on with Linde, so just go for either or, it's going to work out just fine. And for our budget build on Linde, we are going for the refine on Dark Aura. Now, really interesting about Dark Aura, the first blue infantry mage that came out that could compete with Linde was actually Delthea. And Delthea had the Dark Aura, and the reason why Delthea was a little bit better was her weapon was just better. Like, that's pretty much all there is to say. Linde still had a better attack and speed combo than Delthea did, but the perf made a huge difference at that time, so most people were going for Delthea. So really interesting that Linde ended up getting the same weapon as Delthea as well as her refine. So what these do is they're going to grant +6 attack to any adjacent allies depending on whether or not they meet the condition. And then as long as Linde is within 2 spaces of those allies, she's going to get +5 attack and speed. So in the case of Dark Aura, it's going to work on physical type units. So your swords, your lances, your axes, your dragon stones, and your beast units. While the regular aura is going to do the same for your mages and your staff units. So I have a little bit of a preference for Dark Aura in this scenario because Dark Aura just has a much wider target audience there with all the melee types, as opposed to just mages and staves. So I feel like Dark Aura is going to come into play a little bit more frequently for Linde. That being said, the best dancing unit in the game is Legendary Azura, and she is a tome unit. So if you're going to be using Linde with support from a dancer, and most likely it's going to be Legendary Azura or even the free-to-play Peony, then she's probably going to be a little better off with the regular Aura Refine there. So you may want to just pick and choose which one is going to work out best for the situation and the team you're running. Otherwise, this is pretty much a cookie-cutter build for a budget mage. Fury 3, Desperation, Brazen Attack, and Speed. You really just can't go wrong with such a classic build. Now, the nice thing about Linde is that she's providing +6 attack potentially for her allies. So if you wanted, you could just ditch Desperation and run a Link skill in the B slot. And that way, Linde has the potential to grant +6 to 3 different stats to your allies. So you could use her as a sort of buff bot in that regard. And all of these Link skills that you see here are pretty much free to play. Defense and Res Link you get from Sigrun. Speed and Defense Link you get from Norn, and then Speed and Res Link you get from Fiora. So all pretty available options, and it shouldn't be too hard to pick one of those up if you want to go for that. And Res Smoke could be an option for her, as opposed to Drive Speed 2. It does come at the cost of a Brunya though, so you may not want to be willing to sacrifice your Brunya copies. She is one of the best free-to-play merges in the game, and interestingly enough, she is another Blue Tome infantry unit, just like Linde. So I guess it comes down to which one of them you would rather go for. I do think Brunya has a little bit more versatility though in a mode like Aether Raids, since Brunya can negate her own penalties. But in a bubble where penalties are not going to be a thing, Linde is actually going to perform a little bit better than Brunya thanks to her really nice attack and speed combo. And you could also feel free to just toss the Blade Tome on Linde too on this exact same build here, and she's going to put in a lot of work with that. So that is one advantage to Linde that's not quite as good on Brunya. Brunya is locked to her perf if she wants to really get some good mileage out of her, while Linde is so min-maxed that you could feel free to run pretty much any tome you want for her as far as offensive tomes go. So she does have a lot of versatility. Now we've got a couple of high investment builds to look at with Linde actually. So the first one is going to be a Sturdy Impact build. Now pretty much any of these mages that are glass cannons and they have low defense can make a lot of use out of Sturdy Impact, since it's going to grant them a ton of defense and then negate the foe's follow-up. So Sturdy Impact comboed with Sturdy Blow as the seal, and then lull attack and res in the B slot. Linde is actually going to be pretty bulky here, so it's going to be very hard for the foes to finish her off in one shot. And as long as Linde is capable of hitting the foes twice, she is going to cause them massive headaches there. Another cool thing about Linde is that her HP is very low. So if you wanted to support her with Infantry Pulse allies or units like Legendary Hector or Valoria and so on, it would be really easy to just ramp specials with her and get to something that costs a lot more than Moonbow. Like, for example, Iceberg or Draconic Aura or something like that. And that would make this Linde really nice for an Aether Raids defense setup. You can also go for Times Pulse in the C slot instead of Joint Drive Speed if you wanted, so that just opens the door for even more high-cost specials there. And Panic Smoke could be a nice option too if you wanted to just inflict panic on the foes after she gets the first attack in. So if I was going to run a build like this on Linde, I would recommend this for mainly an Aether Raids defense setup where the added bulk is really going to come into play and make it really hard for foes to bait this Linde. Okay, for our next high investment build, we're going to be taking a look at the classic Ophelia type of build. So it's just Special Spiral spamming with a Blazing Special. And with Flashing Blade and Special Spiral, as soon as she gets her special off for the first time in combat, she's easily going to be able to maintain it and just keep going for that over and over again. So very good stuff, of course, and Life and Death 4 is always going to be the go-to for these Blazing Specials, since the Blazing Specials calculate damage based on your raw attack stat. So really nice for the Blazing Specials, of course, but it does turn her defense and res into complete nothing, man. Like, You want to talk about glass cannon, 38 HP and 11 defense. That is not going to survive a hit from anything. You are definitely going to want to have ally support to ramp into that first special, so you don't have to worry about her getting just ripped in half like tissue paper. So Valoria, like I said earlier, and Legendary Hector are nice. Also Duo Alphonse with that duo skill, and possibly even Raphael with Infantry Pulse could be nice. So just consider your options and figure out a way to get Linde's special ready before she has to take any hits from the foes. And the final build we're going to be talking about with Linde is the classic Blades Home build, of course. So this was the reason why Linde was so feared early on. And even to this day, she still has the best attack and speed combo out of any blue infantry tome unit in the game. The only one that actually competes with her right now is the Winter Nino, but that's an armored unit, so I don't even know if you want to count that. But definitely, as far as infantry goes, this Linde is the best when it comes to the blue Blades Home. So very nice stuff there. This build you see here is pretty much just the big brother to the budget build, where we're running Fury 4 and Desperation, and once again Brazen Attack and Speed, of course. Now, you could run Flashing Blade as the seal if you want, but it's really hard to combo with Flashing Blade on these vanilla Blades Homes, since they come with the cost of +1 special trigger, and there's really no way to get around that safely, so you just gotta deal with it pretty much. Glimmer is going to be the way to go for sure when it comes to the special though, because you're going to be adding so much attack with that Blades Home, and you're going to want to just have a special that deals damage based on Linde's own attack. So I think that's definitely what you want. Now, you do actually have a couple of options in the A slot though. Fury 4 with the chip damage and the bonus to all her stats is going to be really nice. And unlike the other option, which is Attack and Speed Push 4, it's never going to burn out, so you're not going to have to worry about running out of the stats. Attack and Speed Push 4 is going to be better in short bursts, because you're getting more focused attack and speed bonuses. But the bad thing to Attack and Speed Push 4 is that once she dips below 25% HP, it's going to stop working. And of course, with a Blades Home, you're going to want to get +6 to all stats or better if you have Hone Attack 4 and Legendary Azura to get the +7 to all stats. So for that, bonus doubler could be a good option too. Just make sure you stay away from panic effects and debuffs if you're going to go with bonus doubler. But otherwise, pretty solid stuff, and Linde is definitely living up to her title as the premier Blades Home infantry unit for blue. It's pretty crazy to think that this girl has been in the game since day one, and she still has almost no competition in her slot. So really awesome stuff there. And that just about covers us for the Linde builds. So it looks like our next Resplendent hero is actually going to be Minerva. Now, I didn't see that coming, because Minerva is once again another 5-star exclusive unit. So they are gimping us on the free-to-play options here. I really enjoyed getting the free-to-play Roy and Eliwood, because those two just made fantastic use of the BST bonus from the Resplendent alts. And it's always going to be easier for us to go for merges on units like that. And as far as Minerva is concerned, she's wearing the Muspel attire, so I guess you could say she raided Lake Jarn's wardrobe there, and just stole some of Lake Jarn's clothes to wear for herself. But I'm not too sure how I feel about this Resplendent Minerva just yet. So let me know, guys, in the comment section down below how you feel about Resplendent Minerva, and who do you think is going to be the next Resplendent hero. I'm still waiting on Gwendolyn and Rebecca to get those artwork fixes, but I mean, at this rate, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing them anytime soon. But that's going to wrap us up for today's video. So hope you guys enjoyed the builds for Resplendent Linde. And as always, this is your boy Tacho signing out. So take care, y'all, and I'll catch you guys again on the flip side.